Hello everybody, this is ER&W16 and this video is a layout overview. Now the good thing is I'm not using the temporary table over there to test my trains out or to run them. I was able to finally get some friends to help me get my table up here, and this is what it looks like. Put the legs on it and everything. I've had this table since I was about 14 years old, and I've upgraded it over the years, and this would be the fourth upgrade I've done, mainly with the track. These are Kato, so they're like the best that I have right now, and it's a double track mainline. There are two crossovers, one on this side, one over there where the tower is right there, and also I have a third track. This is the interlocking track. Got several units on there. Oh, speaking of which, I was finally able to get the exhaust stacks glued on because I went to the train store this Saturday and bought Zap-A-Gap glue, styrene, and a few other surprises, and I'll get to those in a bit. But there's my username locomotive, the SD14R, and then you have a BN F45, followed by a SD24 and a 60th anniversary Athearn Jeep 40X. So we're going back over here to the yard, and there's the other set of crossovers there, right there. There's the tower. Here's the yard. Let's go through this slowly. Got this Saturday. This is a Conrail RS3 9946. This is the first Conrail RS3 I ever bought. Unfortunately, when I went over to the store, I thought they would have more RS3s, but they don't. This was actually the only one they had, and another unit, but I hid the box away, so when I go back there 2 weeks from now I can just pick it up and get it, so I'm going to do that. And this I kit bashed today. It's a Rock Island SW1200 shell and chassis or frame resting on makeshift flat car, or the shop car I'm going to call it. Let me show you from this side. That's what it looks like. You know, I had some parts and I just said, you know, I just build it. That's my Santa Fe Southern Pacific SD40-2, number 5068. My EMD Hustler. This unit I picked up over the weekend. That's my dummy, soon to be powered SW1200. And there's the powered unit right there. That's the Jeep 42M, still working on that. FM Trainmaster for the Pennsylvania Railroad. And a quality Conrail SD40-2, number 6873, I believe. Let me see if that's right. Oh, nope, sorry, 6373. That's one of my original units that I got when I was a little kid. And this unit here is the SW3000, and the reason why it's called a 3000 is because it develops 3000 horsepower. Now you're probably wondering why I would make a locomotive like this, but I made it for two reasons. One, I had an idea and I had some parts, and I said, why don't I just make a unique locomotive? By the way, I must add, this is the very first kit bash locomotive I ever did. The very first. All the parts here come from different kits. This is the -2 blow fan intake right there. These two air tanks came from a Horizon Fleet coach. These came from a KMT side dump car kit, and I used them for the exhaust stacks because I thought they'd be pretty cool. Got that idea from a Western Pacific SW1200. I think it's number 803. This is a fan from a Jeep 9. and the underbody detail, all brass piping. Weathered the trucks myself. I am going to repaint her though, because the paint didn't come out like I wanted it to. But anyway, let's keep moving on. That's my Conrail unit right there, custom painted and weathered. That's a dummy. Most of these, this is the dead line right here. These locomotives are all dead, if you can call them that. They're not powered. So then I got my RDC bug cars here, B&O, and the Boston, Massachusetts one right here. Got my Conrail crane. Finally dug that out. I added the beacon, the light. I'm going to add a horn to it too, also. That's going to be pretty cool. Oh, speaking of which, I got to give you guys an update. This is the Mantua that I was working on. I told you about that in a previous video. Finally got most of it finished. Got both couplers on both ends. All I need to do is actually paint certain areas. This here and that there, and that's about it. And you guys are going to be surprised at this, but I finally finished my RS3M with the BCC and sound. You saw this in a previous video when it was on the temporary layout, I'll call it. It had no hood, but as you can see, it has a hood now. And the reason why I cut the hood out, the top of the hood out, is because the speaker wouldn't allow it to fit perfectly on the chassis. So I said, why don't I just kit bash it into a prototypical model that was repowered by either an ER&W or a GE engine. Mine is repowered by a GE engine. As you can see by the exhaust stack there, that came from the original model. I saved that. So all this here, styrene, that came from the original model. And the green stuff is cardstock. That came with the styrene. I said, you know what, since the styrene looks pretty ugly, plain, put this cardstock on it and make it look nicer. So that's what I did. I'm going to file it and everything. Make it look even nicer so that when paint gets on it's going to look even cooler. Got the 3-chime Leslie horn. That beacon was always there. But I haven't tested her out yet. I haven't tested her out yet since I got my table up. I think I'll just keep that as a separate video for y'all. And I'm almost out of time here. But in the previous video that I showed you guys, I had my Jeep 30PH out on the road pulling the first executive passenger train on the layout. So there she is. This was the first inaugural run of the first passenger train on this line, since I got the table up. And then, for all you GE fans out there, I got my 4 beasts out here. I got 2 U33Cs and 2 C30-7s. So, this is the Southern Pacific Santa Fe, number 8141. Burlington Northern 5733, UP 2501, and Illinois Central 5056. And they're all Atlas, by the way, every last one of them. These are some of my best pullers, heavy haul pullers. These pull the longest trains on my layout. And I had to keep them in this particular order because if I put them in another order they'll kind of act up, but hopefully when I put BCC and sound in them that'll change. So that's going to be another project right there. But I've had these locomotives since I was about 9 or 10, and I've loved them ever since. So, and I got the buildings up, as you can see, got the cars up. It's not finished yet, but it's getting there. I'm probably going to widen the width of these tracks better because every time my coaches, my passenger cars go over them, they kind of derail, but the smaller freight cars don't. But yeah, this is the overview of the layout. and I hope y'all enjoy. See ya.